For the second year in a row, Toumani Camara is taking another leap. The third year man from Belgium is a guy who's a dog. I think you saw it in this game where the Blazers beat the 76ers on February 9th, 2026, 135 to 118. And I think people need to understand this isn't just a guy who is an all defense specialist who can hit the open 3-point shot. He's an actual legitimate budding two-way star. A guy who might have been just a throw-in in the trade that landed him in Portland. But in typical Portland fashion, while the league-wide trend was focused on the superstar trades that might have happened at the deadline, Toumani Camara is quietly putting together a campaign that has Blazer fans and myself buzzing. So that 30-point explosion against the Sixers was a career-defining performance so far, as it highlights the offensive maturation of his game. I think you saw it: 30 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 assist. He went 10 of 12 from the field, 8 of 10 from 3-point range. That's 24 points. 24 points, ladies and gentlemen, from just 3-point range. And that was the first 30-point game of his career. What's notable isn't just the volume, but the way he scored. Transition, being able to finish at the rim, dribble penetrations, and corner threes, and even a few self-created looks that we rarely saw him do in the first 2 seasons off isolation. And I think that's one of the biggest things that people need to understand is this isn't Toumani Camara from a few seasons ago who looked like he was going to be a defensive dog. Now, this is Toumani Camara that, with Shaedon Sharpe's another guy under Tiago Splitter, have really just taken their games to another level offensively. And this is the second breakout because after the 24-25 season where he earned all defense second team honors, Camara has taken a massive leap in year 3. So let's talk about this second consecutive breakout season. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe, and go check out our work at hoopshype.com. Now, last season, defenses dared Camara to beat them from deep. This year, he's punishing that. He's currently averaging a career high 13 points a night while shooting 35% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. In wins, that percentage from 3 jumps nearly to 40%, making him the ultimate safety valve for the Blazers' primary playmakers, which is great when you have someone like that to kick out to, especially on drives or on rebounds, on offensive rebounds with Klingon and company. Now, I think despite the scoring jump, he hasn't let up on the other end. He's still a defensive dog. And to me, he continues to rank in the top 10 percentile for matchup difficulty, being tasked frequently with guarding the opponent's best perimeter scorer, from Tyrese Maxey to Luka Doncic. He averages more than 1 steal a game and has like 2 socks a night, while also consistently having a defensive rating that ranks in the top 5 for individuals. Now, as a passer, I think that's one of his most underrated parts of his game. He's a great playmaker. He's averaging 2.6 assists, up from 2.1 last year. He's shown a much better feel for the Blazers' new up-tempo offense under interim head coach Tiago Splitter, often serving as the secondary hub when Deni Avdija is pressured or sitting on the bench. Now, big picture, what do we think is going to happen? The Blazers are 26-28. They're currently riding a 3-game win streak and are sitting 9th in the West, firmly in the play-in hunt. The $82 million 4-year extension he signed this past October is already looking like one of the best value contracts in the NBA. And Portland is 14-4 this season when Camara scores 14 plus points in a game compared to 12-24 when he doesn't. That's simple math, baby. Have them score 14 points or more. And I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you guys think of this? I do think Toumani was a beneficiary of Scoot Henderson returning after obviously that extended absence, and having a true guard. No offense to like Drew Holiday. I mean, they just had like injuries to their guard position all season long, and Scoot's only played 2 games, and they didn't have him play the second of that back-to-back versus Memphis. And having someone who can orchestrate and facilitate the offense is always going to be an underrated facet of any offense, just because it creates easy looks for a guy like Toumani. Now, I do think when you see this game, you were going up against Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond, Trendon Watford, Justin Edwards, Marjon Beauchamp, Kyle Lowry, outside of Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe. But Jeremy Grant, Toumani Camara, Donovan Clean, Drew Holiday, and Denny Avdia were the starting lineup with the Krejci, who's been a solid fit for them. He couldn't hit a shot tonight, but he still acted defensively. A little Yank Hansen sighting, and then Blake Wesley came in with, like I said, Scoot coming in, getting to the free throw line 10 times, which is huge because they'll really just give them time to catch their breath, set up their patience, and things like that. Because I do think having Scoot out there is always going to make things easier, because Drew is naturally a combo guard who over the years has become a point guard and a facilitator. He's not like a natural table setter. While same thing goes with Blake and a lot of the other guys. So it makes sense that like they look significantly better with Drew, or not Drew, Scoot back in the lineup, because he gives them a look that they've been lacking and that they've needed. So that's just my thoughts on that. And all of this, I think, is a result of Tiago Splitter, who is clearly a better offensive architect in terms of implementing his scheme. And I think it's paying dividends to everybody on the roster, from the evident all-star Denny Avdia to Shaedon Sharpe being as efficient as ever, to every single player seemingly having a leap in their development, or basically rebounding from maybe a down year like Jeremy Grant and Drew Holiday arguably had. So for them, I think this is a rather situation that has boded very well for them. And I think, again, it all goes back to Tiago Splitter. So shout out to Toumani Camara and the squad. If you made it to the end of the video, let me hear your guys' thoughts, if you guys agree or not. Bye.